What about me?
James?
Good morning, Daddy. It's been some time since I've seen you. 10 years, I think.
9 years and 4 months.
A Hollywood legend is being honored right here in the Valley. The son of Western film icon John Wayne, Patrick Wayne, is in town for a special event celebrating his father's legacy. The Western Spirit, Scottsdale's Museum of the West, is hosting the exhibit Still in the Saddle, taking a look back at the golden age of Hollywood Westerns. And we are so lucky to have Patrick Wayne join us in studio. What did you think when you saw that clip right there?
Oh, I remember that so well.
Yeah.
So that particular scene where he grabs me and throws me in the mud.
Yeah.
We did it like 4 times. And finally the director said, yeah, we got it now. My dad says, are you sure we could do it 3 or 4 more times?
Oh.
This is the spirit he had, you know.
I bet. You know, this has got to bring back so many memories. I mean, the fact that you were able to be in the same film with your icon father. I mean, I think you were in 11 films, right?
Something like that, yeah.
What was that like?
Well, first of all, he was an icon, that's for sure, but he was also my father, and he created a great environment to work in, very comfortable, protected.
Right.
He was very interested in taking care of me, so I felt very comfortable there.
And I always feel like, when you have, whether it's a mother or father who is that famous, I mean, truly legendary status, do you realize it at the moment? When you're a child, do you realize that your parent is that big?
No, and the strange thing is that people treat you differently than they treat other people, and that is something that's hard for a child to understand. Why are you behaving this way towards me? And then to only realize later that it's because your dad's saying. So my dad kind of became bigger star as I grew up. So in grammar school, the kids I went to school with sort of saw him emerge. And then when I got into high school, he was like huge, and then these people didn't know. And so it was like a different kind of world.
Yeah, and were you ever in a way like, oh my gosh, a little starstruck? Like, this is my dad. Everybody knows my dad, you know?
He was so different in his public life and in his private life than he was on the screen. And I mean, I saw all that stuff as a teenager thinking, what is the big deal with this guy? And then when I hit my 20s, I said, oh, he's pretty sharp. Yeah, he's actually pretty sharp. But I think any teenager goes through that.
Was he harder on you, you think? Especially, when you're together on set, do you think he treated you any differently?
No, I don't think so. I think he was very concerned about making sure that I was doing what I should be doing. And I mean, he was a guy that was driven to succeed, and he watched every little detail. And he was pointing that out to me, that it's a business that you learn as you go along. It's really, everything is a school, everything is a learning experience.
Yeah, and of course, you went on to be, a successful actor yourself in your own right. What lessons did he teach you?
Just to be prepared is the biggest thing. You come to work in the morning, you know what your dialogue is, you know what your scenes are. And if you have to do anything physical that's out of your skill set, to work on that and develop that and make sure you do that before you go in there. Because if you're thinking about that and it's not natural, then your performance is going to really fail. You're thinking about, am I getting this thing right here? And then I've lost contact with the person I'm doing the dialogue with. Yeah. It's a really important lesson.
That's so interesting. Over the years, I feel like no matter the changes, the evolution, Western genre has always, in a way, stayed the same. It's classic. It's like it never goes out of style. From films to shows. I mean, you've got like shows like Yellowstone that, is so mainstream. Everybody knows about that. I'm not even into Westerns, and I loved watching Yellowstone, right? And so what do you think about how Westerns have evolved to modern day? It is still so timeless.
Well, the values of the West are pretty important.
Yeah.
And these things are important lessons for everyone. They should be important lessons for everyone today. with all this information highway and all the things that are going on, these are still important things, to be decent and respectful of other people. If you say you're going to do something, do it. I mean, these things that emanated from the Code of the West are still important values.
Yeah, so true. It goes back to that good old-fashioned handshake, right?
It does.
Keeping
the
your
handshake.
word.
That's right. Keeping your word. It's very
Yeah,
important.
Yeah, so true. I love that. Tomorrow, you're going to be speaking at a very important, it's kind of like a series, right? Tell me about that.
Well, right now, you mentioned it earlier, is Still in the West. And they've got a beautiful exhibit going on with, I don't know, several hundred, no, not several hundred pieces, but over 100 pieces of items that were turn of the century, turn of the 20th century items from the West that are still in mint condition, and you're able to see this stuff firsthand. It's pretty exciting.
I bet. Okay, so as Patrick just mentioned, Still in the Saddle, a new history of the Hollywood Western exhibition. It's at Scottsdale's Western Spirit Museum, again, happening tomorrow at 3 p.m. For more information and to get tickets, just go to westernspirit.org. Before I let you go, Patrick, what is the one thing that you would want people to remember most about your father, John Wayne?
I think the fact that he was a decent person who treated people with respect. During the 60s, the country was very polarized with the war in Vietnam. And you know, of course, this experience yourself, but there were people that were so for the situation, so against it. My father represented one side, but he treated the people on the other side with decency and respect. He didn't call them names. He had his point of view, and he respected their point of view. And people who disagreed with what he said had a grudging respect for that. And I think that's really a key thing.
Yeah, something that we need to live by these days, especially when things are so divisive. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Patrick, great to meet you. Thank you so much for your time. We
Thanks,
really
Tram. I've enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah, you being here and the stories, the wonderful stories. We could talk forever. Thank you so much. All right, Chris.